Yeah, we like to interview influential women in the sport of archery.
We're obviously very laid back.
And if there's something completely inappropriate that happens, just tell Julie, edit that out. Basically, it's a bunch of girls talking about archery. Hi, and welcome to another episode of the BowDivas. I'm Alicia, here with Barb and Julie.
Hello.
Hello.
We are going to interview a friend of mine, Christina Jones. Christina took second at Indoor Nationals this year and Adult Female Freestyle Limited. At the Sunflower State Games and Kansas State, she took home gold. Christina is a level 2 USA archery instructor, and she also loves to hunt. Christina started shooting archery with both arms, but has lost the use of one of her left arm, but this has not stopped her from doing what she loves. We are excited for her to share her story with us tonight. Welcome, Christina.
Hello, Christina.
Hey, guys.
Hi, Christina.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on the podcast with us.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem. It's an honor. Love your guys' show. Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We try to, interview inspirational archers or just people, women that are influential in the sport. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from and how you got involved in archery?
Sure, sounds good. Well, I live here in Wichita, Kansas. I have 3 crazy, insane children, and I'm I'm married to a high school English teacher. Our daughter Alex, who's now 18, she graduated this year. She is high functioning autistic. And a couple of years ago, somebody suggested that she try archery to kind of help calm her down, to really help focus on some of her anxiety. So we joined a local JOAD club, and she shot for a couple of months. And one night, just kind of out of the blue, she said, "Mom, I bet you can't do this." And I said, "Yeah, I'm not going to do it." And she just kept egging me, and I couldn't turn her down. So, so one of the shop guys put a bow in my hand. It was a Mission Menace, and from that first shot, I knew this is what I was going to do the rest of my life. It was probably the most awesome feeling I've ever had, just shooting a bow, just the sheer power behind it. Now, of course, I was probably only pulling 20 pounds at that time, but it was awesome. It was just so amazing to be able to shoot. And I never really had a hobby as a kid, never played sports or anything. And so as an adult, to find this became my passion. Mm-hmm. So I shot for a couple of years. I got a coach. Ray Manful is my coach, and I started hanging around him and other archers that were around the shop, and I started learning and really trying to work on form and just target shooting. And then one day Ray said, "Sure, I'll take you hunting," and we started hunting together. He helped me kill my first deer, and it's just continued on from there. Have been hog hunting. I love hog hunting. I think that's, if you get a chance, you should go. Mm-hmm. It is a whole different beast than deer hunting, and I love it. We've gone down to Rafter F in Oklahoma a couple of times now, and the guys down there are just great. So just been a lot of fun. And so about 10 years ago, I fell. I had a really dramatic, very clumsy fall. Mm-hmm. And
And can I ask you another quick question? When your is it your daughter started shooting? How long ago was that?
She had only started shooting about 3.5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So this is brand new to to us.
Okay.
She has since stopped shooting. The area that we were shooting kind of got a little too loud for her, and so she backed off. So she's no longer shooting. So I'm the only one in our family that's currently shooting. But she did great for about 6 months. She really enjoyed it and got to know some of the other kids in the JOAD class. And she's my cheerleader. She is my constant cheerleader.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So about 10 years ago, I fell and shattered my left arm. I've had a total of 16 surgeries trying to just get that arm back to normal function. So as I started shooting this Mission Menace, I was a right-handed shooter. But with every shot, the vibration from the bow would just settle in my arm. And it was incredibly painful. And I would, after a night of shooting, I'd go home and I would just cry, and I had to take pain medication, and it was getting bad very fast. So I had a new doctor, a new orthopedic surgeon that was gonna try a new surgery, and we did a complete wrist replacement. I was the first one in the Midwest to have this type of surgery. So I pretty much have like this bionic arm underneath my skin.
Wow.
I have gnarly scars. But still wasn't able to shoot my bow with that hand. So against doctor's orders, I tried again. And in shooting my bow, I then ended up backing out one of the screws.
Ooh.
So
I knew when you said
major knees week.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I knew when it was going to be bad news when you said against doctor's orders.
Yeah. Well, okay. So they said you need to stop shooting your bow and maybe just go stay home and watch TV. And I was like, what how can you say that to somebody? So of course I'm going to go.
That's not an option, is it?
No, and
it's never an option.
Season. I was like, no, you're kidding. And I had messed up my arm again. So in November of last year, November of 2015, I had this kind of final surgery, and they put me back together again. And the doctor said, absolutely not. You cannot use that arm, and not just for shooting your bow. You can't shoot guns. You can't, use a lawnmower. You can't. Don't pick up a gallon of milk.
Jeez.
Nothing. So at that appointment, I had a friend with me who, my friend Ray, and he said, well, you can't shoot with your hands, so let's use a mouse tab. Let's figure out the mouse tab thing. And so we went back to the shop, developed a mouse tab, and so starting in January, I started shooting with a mouse tab. And we have gone through different mediums, so we've used different materials to come up with a mouse tab. But ultimately, I switched sides and eye dominance. I'm shooting a Matthews Chill SDX because my draw length went down dramatically. So we've made it work. We've gotten advice from some of the Paralympic guys, and it's just been an amazing journey up till now, and I'm really excited about where this is going to lead.
So you said that, of course, the bow is different from what you were shooting with two arms.
Right.
The mouth tab is different, so you went from a release to a mouth tab. What other changes have you made?
Sure. Okay. So I switched. I was shooting a Hoyt podium, and I went to the Matthews Chill SDX. I switched from a right-handed to a left-handed shooter, which included eye dominance. And if you've never tried to shoot with the opposite eye, I would encourage you to do it because it's crazy. Those arrows go all over the place at first.
Actually, I wish I could switch because I am left eye dominant and shoot right-handed. So,
how do you
It's a different.
Well, how do you compensate for that? I mean, walk us through the process as far as.
Sure.
You said the arrows are crazy at first, so describe that for us a little bit.
They were, when we teach a kids class in archery, when we teach a Joe Ed class, we always really try to focus on that eye dominance that first couple of weeks because kids don't know how to close their eyes, or if they do, they close both eyes. So one of the kids said, well, Miss Chris, you can put an eye patch on and be a pirate. So I was a pirate for a couple of weeks. And then at one of the, at Nationals, MJ Rogers, the Paralympic coach, he actually suggested to put tape on my glasses. And so that's what I did for a couple of months. And I would work with just one eye. I would try to really just only use that one eye to do anything with. Until it became almost like a second nature for me.
And how long did that take total?
Probably 3 months. And there are still times where I have to tell myself to close my right eye, where I still have to physically say, "Oh, you're wrong eye. Close the right eye." Right. So still getting used to it, but I would say a good 3 months to switch that eye dominance for shooting archery. It was a solid 3 months.
Wow. I can't even imagine.
I can't
I'm sitting here. That's what I'm processing. What you said, because that's just something.
That's just
so natural, and
right.
like you literally having to tell yourself, close your eye.
I'd have to do the eye patch. Yeah. I think the temptation.
Yeah.
If you ever want to, if she ever
pirate.
wants to use an eye patch, we'll put one with like a little BowDivas on it.
There you go. And some bling.
Oh, I would totally use it.
Okay, great.
And it's great because the kids love it. When the kids see adults doing things, they're like, "Well, hey, that's not so ridiculous." And we just made a big deal out of, I'll use an eye patch if the kids will use an eye patch. So why not? So that made it a little easier, kind of turning it into a game.
Right. Sorry, we're dealing with a few technical issues trying to get you.
You guys are good.
On the live here.
Yeah, we're doing a live feed to Facebook, and they're not able to hear you. So
are we getting a message that they can't hear her still?
Well, did Gary Franklin set up soundboard is what I got. Can't hear Chris. What Ray Manfield?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Can you turn Bob's headphones?
We're trying. Maybe if you bring the phone down, cram it down, the whole thing. Sorry, we're totally getting off course with you.
No, you're good.
Fortunately, she's been really kind here and putting up with our crazy. As you can see, as podcasters, we've definitely not mastered the technical part of it.
No. We keep trying to improve, but with each week, it just comes anew.
I think. Do we need duct tape, Julie?
It's all a learning process.
Right. You had talked about, to me personally, while we've been out shooting together, that the mouth tab had started kind of hurting your teeth, and that you had looked for other forms of release, maybe a shoulder release.
Right.
Do you want to talk anything about that?
So we started off with just a little piece of fabric as the mouth tab, and you really got to kind of figure it out. It's not, you can't just go to Walmart and buy this stuff. So then I actually had a physical therapist suggest using a piece of Kevlar.
Yeah.
Because it's sturdy enough and it's strong enough, it'll hold up to a bullet. It should be able to hold up to my teeth.
Right.
But that wasn't, it was too heavy for the strength. So kind of scratched that. And then we ended up going with a cat leash.
Right.
Now let me tell you, if you want to see something funny, go into PetSmart and or some pet store and start putting dog leashes in your mouth to try to see if that's going to fit.
That's awesome.
I'm glad you brought that. I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to ask you about that because I internet stalked you a little bit, and
it is,
and it was
hilarious.
in the article or something I read about using leashes. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
No, it's so funny to be able to, you've got to find the strongest material, and you've got to find something that's not going to break when you're at full draw.
Right.
And you've got to have a sense of humor about this stuff.
Yeah.
So we tried a dog leash. Dog leash didn't work. We tried a cat leash. That has been the answer for the last couple of months. That's been and I don't know what it is about a cat leash, but that's working. I had it on a D-loop at some point in time, and we ended up taking it off of the D-loop because I was breaking the D-loop, and now it's just attached to the string itself. And I bite down with my back molars, and as I bite down, I'm able to push the bow forward and kind of pull my body back. I've got a good hold on that mouth tab, but after so many arrows, it definitely starts to kind of hurt my jaw, kind of hurt my head a little bit. And I've been working with a doctor. No, you're good. You're good. I've been working with a doctor who just because I've kind of gotten some headaches when I'm shooting, but we're working on that. We've got I'm doing some physical therapy, and Ray Mansell just brought up the other problem with shooting a mouth tab is I spit on everybody who I'm facing. So like to the point that I need to start bringing like a raincoat for like nationals.
The person that's
when we shoot nationals next year in Cincinnati.
I have an idea.
I'm going to bring a raincoat.
I think you should go to McDonald's.
A BowDiva.
I think you should go to McDonald's and get the bibs and put it on backwards, like a cape for them.
That I can do it. Oh, absolutely. Oh my gosh. There was one tournament earlier this year, and I was shooting, and I was shooting pretty good. And the guy who was shooting beside me, he was at full draw, and I had shot in the middle of his shot sequence, and he had to let down because I spit on his face.
Was he So he was facing you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
Oh my goodness.
He's a right-handed shooter. I'm a left-handed shooter. It was great. So, you make the best friends at these archery
You do.
tournaments.
You almost made out with him.
Oh, do you brush your teeth, though, before the tournament? That was my question.
Yeah,
you do brush your teeth? Okay.
Yeah.
Use some good mouthwash.
We do.
It'll be minty fresh then. They shouldn't complain too much.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hand sanitizer is horrible. Never dip that stuff in hand sanitizer. Oh, it's not good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's the fun part about shooting a mouth tab. There are some. I am getting a little bit of a headache sometimes with shooting, and so I'm kind of watching that a little bit. But so far, my teeth are holding up. My dentist did not believe me, so I had to show him a video, and he said, "Well, as long as you're not using your front teeth, it's okay." But Chuck Lear's been shooting a mouth tab forever, and a couple other guys have been shooting forever. So,
right.
I figure really, if these guys can do it, I can do this.
Have you talked to any of them? Gotten any advice from the guys that use the mouth tabs?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. Chuck Lear's been a wealth of knowledge. This year, when we were trying to go to outdoor season and trying to get some of that distance, working with him was huge because he's been doing it for so long. We also reached out to Jeff Fabry. He's been incredible to talk to and really bounce off some ideas from. There's been a couple of other people that we've talked to, but like I said, there's not a Walmart that you can go to. There's not a pro shop that I can walk into and say, hey, I need a mouth tab.
Right.
All of this has to be made, and your bow really has to almost be custom to that. Before I started shooting a mouth tab, I had a 24-inch draw, which is pretty little already. Mm-hmm. since shooting a mouth tab, I went down to about 20.5.
Wow.
So I've really stretched the limits of this bow. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to go to like a menace, go back to a menace. And I just think they're cute little bows. They're great bows. But I'm really liking this Chill SDX. So yeah, so it's really going good.
So who works on your bow? Do you just have a shop there that's so familiar with you and your setup that
we do? Yeah. Diamond Archery is here in Wichita, and Ray Mansell is one of their staff shooters, and as well as my coach. So anytime I have a problem, I just kind of hand it over to him. Of course, he has to clean it off, all of the spit that's on it first, before he'll touch it. But yeah, he's done all the work for me. But everybody there has been really encouraging, coming up with ideas about how to make a different release, and that's one of the things we're starting to work on, is to make either the shoulder release or to use an elbow release. I've played around with the elbow release a little bit, but I just don't have the muscle strength in that arm that I need. So Samantha Tucker is going to the Olympics. She just got her invitation to go to Rio, and she is a para-Olympian. She's missing her left arm due to an injury, and she is shooting a shoulder release. And so it's a brace that goes on her body, and then this release is on her shoulder. And it's a very, very new concept. And in talking with her, she has suggested to really try to find somebody to work with here in town who can really custom build the brace that you need to sustain that much weight.
Right.
And so that's kind of the next steps is we're going to contact some fiberglass guys. And
are you trying to get just a better draw length? Is that what your the whole purpose, or just take do away with the headaches and
everything?
Okay.
I'm super happy shooting the mouth tab. I shot the other day, and I shot probably better than I have all year. But I don't know if it's something I can sustain. And for shooting outdoor distances, it's really difficult to get past. It's really hard to get past 45 yards. Mm-hmm. It's definitely a struggle, and it looks like I'm sky drawing. So going to a shoulder strap is maybe a more long-term goal, so that I can get some of those distances. But I'm really happy right now shooting the mouth tab.
I could have sworn you had a picture of the mouth tab on. We stalked you on Facebook a little bit, and I could have sworn I saw. Yeah. I'm scrolling through your pictures now because I was trying to. So when you to release to the mechanism is just literally. Are you just opening your mouth, or does it?
Yeah, she just opens her mouth at release.
Yeah,
and it stays attached to the bow.
Yeah, to the string. Yes.
Yep.
So, do you have any problems with it making any kind of contact with the backside of your arrow, or?
Yep, we have the arrow flight on this is insane, and that's probably the biggest. That's probably the most daily struggle that we have is the arrow flight. When I'm at full draw, I am almost pointing completely downward, and the arrow comes off my rest and then raises up. But boy, we get some funky arrow flight with this, and so it's unfortunately that's kind of what I'm hearing from the other guys is that arrow flight just isn't, it's not going to be as perfect as you want. And because I have such a small draw length and I'm pulling about 38 pounds. So there's not much to work with.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're doing really well though. I mean, I shot with you at Sunflower State Games. I shot with you at the States field.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yep, at Nationals.
honestly, you wouldn't know that you're not shooting with two arms with your scores. I mean, I know you struggled a little bit, maybe at the 80. I mean, I can't remember exactly right offhand. I mean, there's some that I know that are just hard to reach out there and touch, but you're doing really well. You really are. And you should pat yourself on the back for that, because one of my biggest fears is if I were to ever fall and break an arm or get hurt in any way, hurt my hand, or I always thought, oh my gosh, I don't know what I would do with my life because all I do is archery. And so seeing you come out this last year and conquering all this pain and the unknown completely, you're just going into a whole new territory of archery. Really made me feel proud for you and proud as a woman to know that if I were to ever to get hurt, I'm going to look to you for information on how to do what you're doing, because that is awesome. Well, I really appreciate you doing that.
I mean, you're such
really funny. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Spanky Brooks, he shoots traditional archery, and he called me a couple weeks ago and said, Christina, I've hurt my shoulder. You got to teach me how to use the mouth tab. So in about 5 minutes, I got to teach somebody else how to use the mouth tab because of an injury, and it was awesome. It was, just to be able to pass that on to somebody else.
Right.
Boy, I cannot find your picture. I know I saw it here earlier. Anyway, I'll look through it later.
I was just looking.
I was trying to, get off track.
I took a really cool video of her during the Sunflower State Games that I'm going to try to post when this comes out. What are we in, a couple of weeks?
Here, it'll be 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It'll be about 3 weeks. Look.
Can you see that?
she's posting showing your picture.
I'm just showing it on our live feed.
Yeah.
But I still couldn't find the picture of the mouth tab, because it was kind of interesting. I was like, that was my question. Like, you just literally open your mouth to get it to fire.
Yeah.
And then go ahead.
I get in trouble when I start talking with it in my mouth.
Yes. You could have a misfire that way, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to, on purpose, talk to you to see how much I can get out of you.
I have sort of another technical question too. So it makes the placement of the string pretty far from your face, or further than your face, from your face, your peep, your string, the whole 9 yards, compared to where the rest of us that are anchoring on our jawline or something like that. Is it difficult for you to see through your peep, or do you have to be just positioned just right? Does it make you, just tell me what's going on there?
Yeah, it's trying to get positioned just right, and just trying to line everything up. It starts with my lining my head up, and then lining my neck, and making sure that shoulder isn't there, and hand placement is so important. Otherwise, I'm like any shooter. Otherwise, I'm going to start hitting my arm again. So yeah, it's so important to have everything lined up.
How often do you practice?
I like to practice every day of the week. Unfortunately, the summer months, it's not been going quite as planned. So probably about 3 days a week right now. But we've gotten real busy this summer with kids and baseball. So definitely have not been practicing as much. But as soon as I can get back in the shop and start practicing again, I'm there.
Right.
But you really prefer the indoor, just because, I would understand, at 20 yards, it's easier to...
it is, yeah.
Just for your physical, your teeth, everything, would be easier to hit in the 20-yard range.
Well, earlier you talked about having to literally tell yourself to close your eye. How far are you in the process of your whole shot sequence, or is it becoming more... natural and second nature now, or are you still in the conscious phase where you have to be very aware of, like you said, making sure your neck's aligned and this and that? How is that for you? Because a lot of times we take that for granted.
Yeah, The shot sequence is something that I've taken for granted for a long time, and actually way too long. Developed bad habits even before I started shooting the mouth tab, because I never had that shot sequence down. Right now, the eye and getting my mouth tab exactly where it needs to be, that is almost second nature. I would say we're real close to that. I'm working right now on hand placement and just really trying to figure out exactly where that hand needs to be. So my focus has been hand placement and then release, making sure that I'm not tensed up when I release, and that it's a natural flow, as if you were releasing a mechanical release.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I'm just actually sitting here thinking about that change you've had to go through.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. No, I'm not sure that I can handle it.
I'm telling you, if anything was to happen, we have to call her.
No kidding. Well, in your attitude, you seem to have such a great positive attitude.
She
approaching this whole thing
always has
with
a smile.
Positive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's so inspirational.
There's nothing greater than shooting archery, and you're shooting against yourself. You're shooting against your friends. You can take it as high as you want to. You can coach classes. You can work with kids. There's really nothing that you can't do in archery. It all depends on your attitude and how far you're willing to take it. I would love to go to the Olympics someday. Absolutely.
That was my next question.
But yeah, but more than that, I just want to be the best that I can be, and I want the kids that we coach in our JOAD class to say, hey, that's my coach. Mm-hmm. Just like I say about Ray Mansell, I'm proud that he is my coach. I want somebody to say that about me someday. And hey, I learned that from Miss Christina. Mm-hmm. Even if it's my stance, I learned my stance from her or something. I just want to be able to pass this down to somebody else. Okay. And
well, and you're not only teaching your students, the kids, the mechanics of archery and the basics of archery, but really you're teaching them perseverance, and overcoming adversity,
right.
And never giving up.
That's what I was going to say, overcoming obstacles.
So there's just so many layers or levels of lessons that you're imparting on these kiddos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I really hope that they get that. I really hope that they pick that up someday. And because that's important to me. Developing relationships out on the range. Like with Annalicia, it's been great knowing and shooting and watching her technique, because I'm able to take that and go, hey, even though I'm doing things a little bit differently, the way that she holds herself, the way that her shoulders are, can I incorporate that into my shot?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So it's learning from it's learning from everybody, but especially women in archery. If there's a joke out there about me shooting the mouth tab, I've heard it. But just shooting with other ladies in archery is incredible. It's been a great opportunity to get on the line with other ladies and not have that. We've got to prove that we're better than each other, but it's more of a friendship.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of difference there with,
yeah.
Well, you touched a little bit on you wanted to maybe go to the Olympics. You had gone out, I think, for a week and trained with MJ Rogers, the Paralympic US.
I did.
Uh-huh. And what is is this a goal, a real goal that you're going to be, working towards?
Kind of pursuing. Yeah. I had the opportunity to work with MJ. Ray and I had kind of reached a point where I needed to hear it from somebody else. Uh-huh. And I happened to be in his area up in Illinois and was able to work with him for a while. MJ is incredible. I definitely would love to take this as far as I can.
Mm-hmm.
For this moment in time in my life, I have a son who's 8 and one who's 10, and then my daughter who's 18. So I don't know if it's necessarily an option for me to travel as much as I would need to at this moment. Now, in 4 years, would I be able to? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So it's my goal. It's my short-term goal is to really pound it out this indoor season. I want to see how good I can get. And not to sound arrogant, but that's a goal for me. I want to see just, can I get there before I start making these big time goals. I'm going to go to Vegas this year. I'm going to go to nationals this year. I want to shoot as much indoor as absolute possible. I want to learn from as many people as I can. And then just see where that takes me. The para process to get classified as a para archer. I got the classification for the state of Kansas, and but to get it nationally recognized and internationally recognized is probably one of the most difficult things I've ever been through.
Really?
And probably one of the most heartbreaking things. Yes. Now, and that's what I've been told from other para archers, is even those who have an obvious disability, who are missing a limb, it is still a process. So I sent in my paperwork, had my doctors fill out everything, sent in X-rays, and the response I got was, well, your disability could be fixed with just another surgery.
Oh, no.
I mean, really almost, just jaw dropped. What? So it is a process of really describing and showing people why you can't do something, and how you have failed to do those things. So yeah, in the next year, definitely going to be, pushing forward with USA Archery. There's not a para classification for the NFAA, so I just shoot adult female freestyle limited. So I shoot basically what a fingers shooter would be shooting, which is great because I get to compete against other people. So many of the tournaments that I've shot in, there's been one person or nobody who's shooting in that class, and that kind of takes the fun out of it a little bit. Although I'm just happy if I can keep up with some of the other, just regular open girls. But yeah, it's a process that I'm definitely going to be approaching again here very soon, for USA Archery.
So yeah, I was having a question. Do you have to go back and contest that ruling, or
I think
show additional paperwork?
Yeah, I have to show additional paperwork. There's a couple of, there's a tournament that I need to go shoot at in front of the
that's
judges.
Not nerve-wracking.
No, not at all. And so then my question is, well, they're going to see my arm kind of hanging down there, and they're going to say, well, why can't you use your arm? Well, I can use my arm. I can't use my arm to shoot a bow or to even pull a release back.
Right.
And so then it becomes a kind of a word game that my provider needs. My doctor needs to say it just perfectly,
right?
So that I can get that. So it's a process. It is not a. And I started that. I started that process in probably February, and I found out in March that my disability wasn't enough of a disability. Yeah. So it was heartbreaking, but it definitely gave me, okay, so now I know what we've got to do. I was able to get over it pretty fast. And honestly, even if I can't shoot para for USA Archery, it's not going to stop me from shooting limited or whatever class for the NFAA. I think there's a place for everybody to shoot. And even if I don't make it to if I don't make it to the Olympics, that's okay. It's okay with me. I just want to do the best I can.
So,
Right.
and I just have, sorry about all these questions.
No,
So
you're good.
So
No.
USA Archery is the one who has to bless your disability, basically, for you to qualify for the Olympics. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay. And then,
yeah.
And then do you have to do something else, like some other competitions or qualifiers to make it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, so
you get your...
You're at the bottom of the mountain.
I'm on the very
climbing.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that mountain is very, very tall and very...
we need to keep track of her.
With it's very expensive with traveling and
Right.
And whatnot, and time consuming, and so it's just going to be a process. I'm gonna take it one day at a time and shoot my bow as much as I can and learn as much as I can. I've only been shooting archery for 3 years. Matter of fact, I just celebrated my 3-year anniversary a couple weeks ago. I'm still brand new at learning all of this, and there's still so much more that I need to learn, and so I'm not in a huge hurry to climb that mountain. I want to do it correctly, and I want to be the best I can.
And well, you've only been at it for 3 years, but you've gone through struggles that most archers will never have to go through in their whole entire life.
That's a good point.
And that's why your story is so interesting. I mean, you've really had to...
So me crying about which release to shoot is
No.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm not feeling sorry for you, man.
She's not.
Yeah.
Dang.
No, after talking to Christina, I'm not feeling sorry for anyone else or
No.
myself.
No.
I know.
Let's suck it up and get
So
out there.
Then more pity parties.
This is a little off, but I mean, not really off the subject, but how is your arm like feeling just when you're not even shooting? How are you feeling? Because I know at one time you were like, I would just rather have it cut off. I mean, I know that sounds so stark, but you've had that conversation with me before.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I never put much into the statement of chronic pain, of people who had chronic pain. I've worked in the medical field for 20 years. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Not 20 years, that wouldn't make sense. So 15 years. It doesn't make sense why people would have chronic pain. Why can't it be fixed? It hurt continuously, and anytime we have any weather change, I can tell you that there's a storm system kind of coming in. So it's a choice that I make every day to get up and not let my arm overcome me. And that some days it's really hard to get out of bed and make that choice. But if I don't, then I've just let this arm pain. I've just let the pain win. And I'm not allowed to let that happen. Because there are, Julie, like you were saying, there's so many other people out there that have something that's so much worse than me. One of our kids in our GeoEd class has a terminal brain cancer, and she's this amazing girl. And so I look at my arm and I'm like, this is nothing compared to the crap that she is going through.
Right.
And so really, it's people like Addison Adams and our other kids who have disabilities. It's people like my daughter who her anxiety and her fear of people is what keeps me going. So it's a choice every single day. And probably 9 out of 10 days I'm hurting pretty good. And lately it's been hurting a little bit more. I have another surgery coming up in sometime in August. I have a screw loose. Go figure. So I know. So yeah, I have another surgery planned for here in about a month or so to kind of get some stuff in there, kind of a maintenance fix. But yeah, you got to choose to deal with it. Otherwise, you just kind of succumb to it, and I end up staying on the couch and eating bonbons and watching crap TV. So I'd so much rather be outside eating bonbons, talking smack on the line with somebody else. So, gosh.
Well, do you have any advice for maybe a kid that comes up to you? I think we kind of touched on this a little bit, but if a young lady was to come up to you that had both arms and just needed advice, what would you give her?
It probably would be, don't be in a hurry to compete. I think tournaments are a great thing, and I truly believe that you're never going to get better unless you compete against the best. And honestly, that's why I shoot against other people who are able. Is I'm never going to get any better until I start shooting against those other people. That being said, there's time that you have to find out your shot sequence. And there is time that you need to learn about your bow and all of the parts to that bow. You really need to discover who you are with that bow and shooting. And that, I don't think that's something you can do at a tournament, especially some of the bigger tournaments. I think that's when target panic sets in, and then you get frustrated and you want to quit archery. So my biggest advice is don't get in a hurry to compete. Now, if you want to go to Vegas and shoot in the Vegas shoot or, something like that, and it turn more into a vacation and a great shopping trip, go for it. But don't. Yeah, I'm saving my money this year for the Vegas trip. So, but don't set your bar so high just yet. Give it some time. Take it slow, so that you don't get disappointed and frustrated. And also get yourself a coach. Find somebody who is going to give you advice.
She has chickens, by the way.
Oh, is that what we're hearing?
That's what it is. Okay. I thought my stomach was like making funny noises and the mic was picking it up. And
I was trying to figure out where the noise was coming from.
Oh my gosh!
Julie keeps looking at me like she has. Like it was her me? And I just wanted so bad just say I didn't want to cut you off. I was like, that's her freaking little baby chicken she always talks about.
I love it. I love it.
We can hear them.
My chickens just laid eggs. So I was out here going, hey, this is pretty cool. No, the advice I get is get some chickens. They're pretty fun.
Yeah, they are fun. I love them.
The only other thing is ask around and get people's advice and opinion about things, but find one person to go back to and say, hey, this person told me this. I think it might be a good idea, but what do you think, and why do you think that? And then make your own decision about it. Because if you start getting opinions and advice from, 5, 6, 20 people, it gets blurred, and then you get confused.
Yeah.
So find one person. I like the accountability idea. Find somebody that you're accountable to, that you can say, hey, I practiced for an hour today. Shot pretty good. Here's what I think I can improve on, and let them coach you through that. So yeah, don't be in a rush to win nationals, and get yourself a coach.
Yeah. Good
spot
advice.
On. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You definitely hit the nail on the head. I know. Yeah. I mean, personally, I've run into the same thing where well-meaning people give you advice, and you can choose to either follow that advice or maybe consider it and try it, and if it doesn't work, go back and do whatever that you need to do. But as far as finding that one person to go back to, I think that's very critical. It took me a long time to figure that out.
Yeah, me too. And I've made that same mistake. And just in conversations, you ask a lot of people. And sometimes what works with some people, sometimes it does work for those people. And but then you can get too much input of little variances of things to do, and then then you find yourself standing there lost
Yeah.
I've done that.
Right. Well, and it goes for, it goes for equipment. Start with something simple and then build onto that. You don't have to go out and buy the top-notch bow. And I think that's, for new archers, I think that's another area that they kind of get into. And some of those top-notch bows are a lot heavier than a Mission Menace I'm not employed by Matthews or anything like that, but it's a lightweight bow. Get familiar with yourself and how you're going to shoot, and then add on to that. And then build up to a target bow or a better hunting bow, whatever your passion is, or 3D bow. For myself, I've shot several different brands of bows, and I think they're all great, and they all for me they all did the same thing. They were all shooting 7s. It wasn't. They never hit the X for some reason. I don't know.
They all hit 7s.
They all hit 7s. But just take your time. Archery's not going anywhere, and it's getting more and more popular every day. Take your time, learn about archery. Talk to other people, but listen to what they say, and really try to figure out. And go back and talk to somebody and say, hey, this person said this. What do you think about this? Or do you think that's a good option for me? Because what works for me isn't going to work for Annalisa. And definitely what works for Annalisa, I can't use that arm. So,
right.
So it's not going to work. So, but learn from other people, learn from other ladies.
Right.
And guys, they're okay too. So
I know Ray Manfield's sure been chiming in quite a bit on this.
Is he?
Oh yeah, he wants to get his name out there.
He wants. Hi,
Ray.
I am not patient, and so I will push back when he says you need to do this, and I no, I don't. And I know better, but ultimately he's right. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, I have another question I like to ask. Do you have anything? I know you carry a hip quiver. Do you have anything in your hip quiver, like a good luck charm or something maybe from your kids, or something in your quiver that's specific to you?
Yes. I have
a chicken.
I have chicken.
No, probably an egg.
An egg.
See.
Yeah, my goodness. I was out at the range with a couple of people, and I don't want to keep bringing Ray up, but I got to tell you the story. Ray bends over and he picks up this seed, and he looks at it and he goes, "Hey, the Indians used to make bread out of these." And I had only known Ray for a couple of months, and so I'm listening to every word he says, and whatever. And he takes out a pocket knife and he kind of breaks it open, and he pretends to eat it. So I eat it, and it wasn't edible. So now now every time he says, well, they used to make something. No, they didn't. So I have a couple of whatever those seeds were from the range in my quiver.
That's
just
great.
to remind me about where I came from, and how gullible I was.
And you're probably going to do that to someone else. When I get the chance to meet you, I'm like, if she, hi, Christina, it's great to meet you, but
don't do it.
I'm going to pass on the seed. Thanks anyway.
Yeah, pass on the seeds. But and really, if Ray Mansell ever tries to feed you something, just walk away.
Note to self. Note to self.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, it sounds like you always have a good time. I know you and Ray travel quite a bit together, and he's a great coach for you, and he's a good support for you. And I always have a blast when I'm around you guys.
Great.
Well, is there anything else you would like to add? Is there anything you want to talk about that we haven't got to talk about yet?
Oh gosh, no. This has just been this has been an incredible opportunity to talk with you ladies, and I love listening to the podcast. What you all are doing is so important to archery, and for the ladies in archery, we need to hear more about what other ladies are doing in archery,
right.
And we need to learn from each other. So I absolutely adore what you guys are doing. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and we really appreciate someone like yourself coming on because you have a diverse background from, I think, anybody we've talked to so far. Mm-hmm. And definitely have made me feel like a little bit like a crybaby because I cry over stuff far less dramatic than what you've had to deal with.
Me too. Me too. I'm thinking I had shoulder surgery last summer, and I have some pain that I'll probably have for the rest of my life, but it is nothing compared to you. And I'm like, all right, I'm shutting up now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to be a big baby about it. When I wake up and my shoulder's sore, I'm going to think about you and what you're going through. And and just keep plowing on.
Your pain is your pain. Your pain is your pain. And nobody can tell you that that's just a minor setback. Nobody can tell you that. Your struggle is your struggle. Mm-hmm. And I think you got to keep that in mind because, boy, if your shoulder hurts, your shoulder's going to hurt. If my arm hurts, it hurts, and I can't describe the pain. And I can't run away from it. I've thought about cutting it off with the chainsaw in the garage, but I can't get started.
That's a horrible picture in my head.
Sorry.
She can't get started. Is that what she said? Well, good thing. Yeah, good thing. Keep that. Nobody teach her.
Keep the sharp objects away from her.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep on keeping on. That's what we've got to do every day. Because we're all going to have our struggles, and especially as women, we're going to have our struggles, and we're not going to let those overcome us.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
Wonderful.
That is a great note. That's a great note to pass along.
Yes, it is.
Well, I think we're going to wrap things up, so we're not taking any more of your evening. I know you got your little kids to tend to and your chickens.
and my chickens.
How many eggs did you get out of your chicken coop tonight?
I had 2 eggs, but one was huge and the other one was little bitty. So I'm not really sure what kind of shenanigans happens out there in the chicken coop. So,
do you have a rooster?
I might, but I've already butchered 4 roosters. So if there's another one, I don't understand this whole chicken thing. So
I think you go to Orscheln's and you tell them you don't want a rooster is what you do.
We got sent home with 5.
Oh.
We got sent home we had 12 chickens and 5 of them were roosters.
Out of the hen bucket. Out of the hen bucket.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I think so. So who knows? But they're great. They follow me around like a puppy. So so no problem. Yeah, it's good times here in Wichita. So it was great to talk to you guys. I cannot wait to meet you two. And indoor season is going to be awesome this year.
Yeah, we're going to have a really good time in Vegas, I promise.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Aren't you guys going?
We're going. So, yeah. Christina, I can't wait to meet you in person.
I have no idea.
Oh, fantastic. I'll bring some seeds.
Yeah, you do that.
Exactly.
I won't eat it, but I'll put it in my quiver.
There you go.
Some bread making equipment.
Chicken feathers.
Yeah.
Well, it was really, really nice talking to you.
Christina,
and we're going to keep in touch, and we'll probably, keep people updated on how well you're doing. And
I definitely want to stay up to par on how things are going with convincing people that you're really disabled or you really have the inability to work on that.
That's going to be interesting to follow.
I
wish you the best of luck.
We definitely stand behind you 100%. So if you ever need 3 talkative chicks to come and fight in your corner, we sure will.
We've got it. Absolutely.
Well, thank you all so much for having me, and I look forward to talking with you all again.
All right.
Thanks, Christina.
Bye.
Okay. Take care. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow.
Yeah. She's been through a whole lot.
Yeah.
In such a short period of time, as far as archery goes.
Yeah. People are going to wonder what kind of picture you have on your computer.
Never tell.
No, she always has a smile on her face, a big hug for the kids. I mean, if you walk into a shoot and she's there, man, you know it because she's got such a great personality.
Well, and it sounds like doctors have been watching too much of TV, like, oh, that can be fixed with a surgery. My mom had a catastrophic ankle surgery where her ankle was just crushed, and you don't come back from it. It builds up bone, extra bone. It's just it's never right again.
Right.
Her arm will never be right after.
And she's had 16 going on 17 surgeries.
Yeah. So, that comment just kind of, I find irritating.
Extremely irritating.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I kind of exclaimed when she said, that,
it can be fixed with a surgery.
Yeah.
Really? You've been watching way too much TV because that's.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But it makes me wonder how many requests, and I hate to be this way, but I am, that USA Archery gets from people who are, trying to
do the Paralympics that
don't truly belong there. I mean, surely there wouldn't be, but you never know. I don't know. I didn't.
That's possible.
I don't know.
And since it's not apparent externally in her case, since she actually still has her arm.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. I don't know. But I just know and my mother-in-law even's had a couple of knee surgeries. They just
it's not the same.
No.
Yeah.
No, especially if she's got screws and plates and stuff in there. Yeah. So great for her though.
Oh yeah.
It's very inspirational.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I truly do wish her the best. I hope she does make it, and I really want to follow her journey.
It sounded like I wasn't paying attention, but I was actually stalking through her pictures because I was trying to find that mouth tab. I know it's in there somewhere. I saw it earlier.
It's about this long.
Right. It was the blue one or?
The one I see. I think she switches them out every once in a while. It's about that long, and it's sewn on around the string. And Ray said something about they have anchored it above. Let's see.
Above the arrow?
Above like the knock or the knocking point?
The tab pulls the string above the arrow. This is why she has struggles. She has to put the tab above the arrow, yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it would be like if you had no D-loop and you were just attaching a release right above.
Well, then to go from having, she still has both arms, but going from picking up a bow her first time, falling in love with it, and shooting with both arms, and then having to go into the eye dominance and the mouth tab, and then the arm pain on top of all that, and then totally switching eyes, and then you finally feel positive about the way you're shooting, and then to send off a letter and to get one back to just kind of shoot down everything that you feel like you've worked towards.
Right.
And she has a high functioning autistic daughter that, she does wonders with. She's a wonderful mother, and she's still trying to go to all the shoots and enjoy her passion too. So I really enjoy being around her. She's a fun gal, and both her and Ray are a hoot together, and so we should all have a really good time. You should definitely just go to Vegas. It's really... I'll set you up on a cheap flight.
I'm probably going to go to Vegas with Katie, though.
Can she put it off till February?
Yeah, can she go to...
She's already on it, man. Let me tell you.
She's wanting to go for her birthday.
She turns 21.
So does mine in January, so we're taking her in February.
Oh.
Well, it just happens to be the same time. Our daughter turns 21 on January 3rd. So she's going with us this time. So, but yeah, it should be a good time. But I think you should just go when we go.
I should just go.
Yeah. You should just go. She would have a good time with all your friends,
I would.
Wasn't she? I know you would she?
No.
We could throw the two 21-year-olds
Katie's already got the time off. She's got it all. Oh. Yeah, she's already got it. Yeah.
Well, that's not good.
You need to get out
she
there.
She would probably go again.
I'm sure she would.
Okay.
You need to get out there and move those targets and make your husband
shush.
win a big old check at a shoot. Then you can go again.
No kidding.
Money would be no object.
Right.
I'm not sure if the check's going to be big enough.
Well, it might be physically big.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the best way to get them.
Yes.
$2.50. $2.50.
But it's 6 foot long.
They moved the decimal point. Well, I thought tonight went pretty good.
Yeah, she was great. I loved her. I loved her.
Yep, wonderful girl.
That is, I now I want to go. Now, as far as local things, does she ever come up to the Pro-Am?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been to the Kansas City Shootout. She does indoor sectionals, all that stuff.
Cool.
And it sounds, she did nationals last year.
Was she here at the shootout this last year? I
Mm,
don't remember seeing.
If Ray's watching, he could tell me. I'm pretty sure she was there. I don't know why she wouldn't have been there.
I'll definitely be on the lookout for her now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will too.
Yeah, the scars on her arm are just.
Yeah, Barb held up a picture.
I was
like, holy
Well,
cow,
that was just the bottom. She's got them in the top, and
wow,
she's
just amazing.
Yeah,
she really is.
Well, Ray didn't say anything, so I'm pretty sure
he probably checked out. So.
Yeah.
Well, we probably ought to wrap it up and get out of here.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good.
All right.
What exciting stuff is going on? Julie's going to the Classic here in a couple of weeks.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
We're going to Branson this weekend to shoot the Regions National Championship.
I'm going next weekend.
Although
to go to camper thing. I am.
And then we're going to go to the Classic the following weekend.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
And this will air
3 weeks.
Probably
right after the Classic.
Yeah,
so.
I think. I need to
I don't know.
Start working on the other interview and see how long it's going to be. So 2 to 3 weeks.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey,
Sounds
everybody.
good.
Okay.
I think we finally got a system figured out. It's duct tape, a bar stool, and Annalisa actually has some actual piece of a technical equipment that's supposed to hold the phone.
Yeah.
But
I don't know what it's called. Technical equipment.
I don't know. It seems to be working.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get out of here.
All right.
So you got to do the Facebook.
Oh,
yeah. How do you find us?
Okay. You find us on Facebook on BowDivas Podcast. We're on Instagram, and you've got low battery. And then we're no longer on Twitter, I don't believe.
We really haven't been using it.
We have one, but we don't say anything.
Yeah.
So
and our
we don't tweet.
Yeah.
Divas don't tweet.
We're not Twitters.
Yeah. We're talkers. You can also go to our page. It's www.bowdivas.com, and you can ask us any questions or have us ask a guest a question. So if you got anything for us, let us know.
All right.
Yes, please.
All right.
Over
Peace.
and out, everybody.
See ya.
So then you're a mouth breather.
Clamper thingies.
Yeah.
Then I'm a mouth.
Then we talk like that.
Okay. I do need to do that. Or just stop breathing altogether. How's that?
Become a mermaid.
Well, you know.
It's all my goal.
I could do that, yeah. Mine would be more like, I don't know, not a mermaid shape. I don't know what it would be. Beach ball mermaid.
A beach ball?
Beach ball mermaid.
Oh.
Shaped like a beach ball.
Oh, no.
How about now?
Hello.
There she is.
Yeah, and Jack was like super picky about like how far, and I'm like, man, I can take mine off, go get a drink.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's Jack.
Julie's over here doing this.
Well, yeah, I have loud nostrils.